So you're probably like,
I want to save. I know I should save, but how do I save?
hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Bridget, and as you can tell by the title of the video, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects, savings. I get asked so many times, how does one begin to save? Well, many may think you just start, and that's kind of the right mindset. But what I like to actually do is break it into three steps. So I think a lot of people get so caught up in savings, and they make it more complicated than it has to. But once you actually come up with a plan, then you're able to make sure that you're going to be able to successfully reach whatever savings goals you have. So with that being said, let's go ahead and go into my steps. So the first step that I recommend is, how much do you want to save? Now, once you have that amount down, that you know, okay, I want to save, for example, $5,000. So now you know how much you want to save. The next step is simply, well, when would you like to have this money saved? I want to have it saved within a year's time. So 52 weeks, or if you get paid weekly, or if you would like to save weekly, or if you would like to save bi-weekly, 26 weeks. Now, with that being said, now that we know not only how much, but the time frame, now here's where we actually set in stone the plan. So with that 5,000, you're going to divide it by either 26 for every 2 weeks of savings, or 52 for every week of savings. And then that's going to let you know, okay, that's the minimum you need to have saved or put aside in order to meet your goal for the end of the year. Now, that's one way to look at savings. The other way that I actually do like, because it takes it from being less complicated or less overwhelming when you see that amount, especially if it's saying you need to save 300 every paycheck. So in a lot of cases, majority, you can't save $300 at once for various reasons. So what I actually like to do, which is one, again, my favorites, is going into a savings challenge. So doing a savings challenge is the best way for a beginner to step into actually saving. And there's so many different savings challenges that are out there, being for every dollar that you come in contact with, you save every $5. What I actually like to do is make it more purposeful, if that makes sense, to meet my goals. So, and I do mine's, and I have my own savings challenge, which is called the $7 to 10K. It's a 52 weeks challenge. And with that, since it's already started, it started in the beginning of January, but of course you can start at any time. But what I do for mine in particular, how I do my challenges, you would multiply the 7, for example, my challenge, $7 by the week. For instance, week 1, 7 times 1 is 7. So you'll just put $7 to the side. Then week 2, 7 times 2 is 14. So you'll add $14 to that $7, and you've already saved $21, and so on and so forth. And this way it kind of eases into, or does the snowball effect, where it doesn't feel like it's grossly affecting or impacting your day-to-day expenses, your paycheck, especially in the first several weeks. Now, of course, as the weeks roll on, it does gradually grow into the hundreds, but don't let that scare you. So what I also recommend with the savings challenge is to make sure you do have a reserve money. So with the reserve funds, The reason why I highly recommend having reserve funds in addition to savings, and I'm going to explain how you can incorporate that as you're saving to reach your goals as well, is because, as we all know, life is guaranteed to throw a curveball every now and again, especially to affect us financially. When you're starting to go later on in my challenge, if you do decide to join my challenge, and if you are interested in more information or for me to actually create a video regarding my savings challenge, please feel free to comment down below and like the video as well. I'll greatly appreciate it. But the reason why I recommend reserve funds, again, when life does throw you those curveballs and you don't want to stop yourself from that weekly contribution to your savings jar. So what I would say and what I recommend, if you're able to, is at minimum, put aside 10% each pay period. Now, you may be thinking, okay, so you already told me to put money aside every week for the savings challenge. Now you want me to put aside an additional 10%? No, not at all. So let's say, for instance, you make $1,500 every 2 weeks. So 10% of that is going to be $150. So with that $150, you're going to take out and you're going to set that aside. And what I say by take out, I really mean withdraw it from the ATM. That's my recommendation. Now, of course, you don't have to, but again, that's my recommendation. So you take out that $150, right? Now, this is for us beginning because that's 10%. So you have the $150. Of course, this is more than that, but you have the $150 in withdrawn. Now, okay, well, I know this is week 1. I have to put $7. So from the $150, go ahead and take the $7 from it and put it into your jar. The remaining $143, you're going to put that in a separate compartment where you can house your funds, such as I have a little safe I got at Walmart, something like this. And this, again, is just going to house all your reserve money. And again, I recommend at least 10% of your check put to the side in your reserve. If you can do more, if you want to do more, great. And again, you'll just have your reserve money there. And that way, as the weeks proceed, you're still able to, okay, I have my cushion growing. I'm still depositing the funds for my savings challenge. And oh my goodness, unexpected bill arises. I had to pay that. I wasn't able to save that particular pay period, but I have my reserve money. So now I can go ahead and take out that money that I put on reserve and go ahead and still put it in my jar. That way you can still be successful. Again, this is all about planning to successfully meet your goals. And again, I just love saving challenges, but I've never heard anyone talk about having reserve money. And I think that's very important. You have to have a reserve funds because again, life happens. And oftentimes, many of us, once we have a small defeat, oftentimes you can fall off the wagon just from that one defeat. Oh, I wasn't able to do it this week. Instead of, okay, well, I didn't do it this pay period. Well, next pay period, I need to double up to make up for it. Well, by that time, I may not do it again. So I just say reserve funds. It's working for me. I've been doing saving challenges or savings for many years, and I just find that it's the best way. And I do recommend taking the cash out of the ATM or at the bank and having that to the side. If you don't have a lot of self-discipline, if you keep the funds in a savings account that's linked to your checking account, which you have a debit card linked to, you're more than likely going to go ahead and get a little too happy with the swiping of the card. So, and then you're going to be dipping into your savings, which again, the whole point of savings is not to touch the funds. So that method is really one of my favorite as far as savings. Now, going back to the initial saving option that I was explaining before, where you just simply map it out mathematically, I think that's a great way for those who want to digitally save. Because then all you're doing is setting up those automatic transfers. And if you want more in depth, how I do digital savings as well, again, comment down below. Let me know if that would be something you're interested in. Again, like the video. I would greatly appreciate it. And when you receive your paycheck, just put 10% to the side or whatever percentage that you're comfortable with. But it is a challenge, so I do encourage everyone to at least try to put 10% to the side. And the last thing I would recommend, whether it's digitally or on paper, the most important thing is write out your plan. Have a goal amount in mind. Don't just aimlessly save. I think that's also a guaranteed way for a downfall, to not be holding yourself accountable. Because if you're just aimlessly saving, then it won't really discourage you from using your savings or to dip into your savings jar. You have a plan in mind. It just holds you more accountable to say, you know what? Okay, I can't get that right now. I'm going to hold off for it. Or, you know, I see the bigger picture. I'm saving for a down payment on my home, a car, or, you know, just a rainy day, emergency fund, whatever the goal is, or the reason for you to save. Just hold yourself accountable. But I definitely enjoyed making this video. I do hope that you enjoyed watching it. And again, my name is Bridget. And as always, I do hope we continue to grow, save, and thrive together.